Good evening and welcome to the Goffstown Zoning Board. At this time, I'd just like to tell you some of the policies and how this meeting is going to be run. The Goffstown Zoning Board is an elected board of 5 members and up to 5 appointed alternates. As you can see, we're very short on alternates and we're happy to have anybody give us a call to join the board. The board has posted an agenda for each meeting and intends to follow the items in order. The board will open the public hearing on an application to receive testimony from applicants, abutters, and affected parties, and ask questions about the request. The public hearing will then be closed and the board will enter into deliberation session to discuss the merits of this request. For each application, the board will decide to approve with conditions, deny, or continue to a later meeting. You are welcome to watch the deliberations this evening, or you can contact the town hall to get the results. For an applicant's request to be approved, there must be an affirmative vote of at least 3 members. An applicant can request a continuance if there is not a full 5-member board, and we are a full board this evening. If you are aggrieved by a decision made by the ZBA tonight, you have the right to appeal to the Superior Court. However, before appealing to Superior Court, you must request a rehearing with this board to preserve your right to appeal. Rehearing requests must be filled within 30 days of the decision and state all reasons why the decision was unlawful or unreasonable. Failure to request a rehearing may forfeit your ability to appeal to Superior Court. Please silence your cell phones and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first thing in order are the minutes. Did everybody have an opportunity to review the minutes? Any changes, any comments?
On page 2, no, I'm sorry, on page 4, initially the abutter was named Pam Boyer, but somehow it changed to Decker in subsequent.
Okay, we'll
notes.
change that to Boyer.
There are quite a few, so we'll have to
Okay,
change
so
those
go
later.
through that page. Thank you. Any other comments?
I think that was all I saw.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. And please vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstentions? We're all set? Denies? Okay. Motion carries. Put this away. Okay, the first case we're going to hear is Alan Yeaton. So Alan, I'm assuming you're going to be sitting down for this one, or?
Yes.
Okay. Alan Yeaton, applicant, in 81 North Mass Road, LLC. Owners are seeking a variance to allow for a canopy to be installed at an existing gas station service garage that will be located 18 feet from the front property line and 15 feet from the side property line, whereas 25-foot setback is required from the front lot line in the side street on a corner lot per section 4.3 of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. An additional variance from section 15.161 is being sought to allow a gasoline service station structure to be located less than 25 feet from any property line. The property is located at 81 North Mass Street, map 37, lot 35, zoned residential small business office district.
Motion, no regional impact.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name is Alan Yeaton. I'm here representing Mohammed Mobeen, who owns the property on Mass Road. What is the goal of this request? The goal is to erect a canopy over an existing gas pumps, tanks underground that have been there since early 1990s, the tanks. The gas station's been there for over 50 years because I've known it and been in this town for 50 years. So, what's unique about this property? One, it has 3 front yards. Church Street on the south, Church Street on the west as it comes up to Mass Road, and North Mass Street on the front. So there's abutters to the east, one on Church and one on North Mass Road. Along that side is a large group of trees that belong to this property. No intention to remove all that, so there'll be a barrier, visual barrier, and there's a stone wall along there. And there's a pretty drastic grade change between the garage and the gas pumps and the abutting properties next door. We looked into a number of things, but the reason for the size of the canopy is I can't excavate around the concrete pad that exists here now because the tanks are right underneath it. So when you do that, can't move the tanks, so the front yard on North Mass Street is pretty well set. The actual tanks go all the way out to the property line on North Mass Street and go all the way in about 8 foot short of the existing building. Secondly, on Church Street, the people next door don't really say too much in the cemetery. But that side is pretty narrow, and that's the closest we get to the property line, which is about 15 feet, plus or minus. It's about 18 feet from the North Mass Street side. How is it going to be operated? Technically speaking, the station is open from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. During that time, especially in the winter months, there'll be lighting, which will be downlight inside the canopy. So visually, you won't be able to see the lights shining in your yard. The abutter across the street, directly across the street, has a large, probably 15-foot high row of evergreens in front of that property, except for their driveway. So, in addressing the concerns of the neighborhood, and addressing the concerns of, I have letters of support from 2 realtors that basically have looked at the property, have submitted documentation, which I'll pass to, basically saying that there's no diminishing in value of the real estate. To address the other paragraphs, yeah, you can pass those out. Mohammed has some other copies. So to address the criteria of the granting the variance. Excuse me, Madam Chair, I gotta go get my cheat sheet. It will not be contrary to the spirit of the zoning ordinance because it increases the safety and welfare of the people that use the gas station, and it's been in continued use. And secondly, this is the only station in town that doesn't have a canopy as of today. We've granted variances in this municipality for Cumberland Farms, because they have a canopy which is in their front yard and is closer to the street than we propose. Secondly, Mohammed actually owns Budget Gas. There's one in Penardville, right there across from Bartlett School. It has a canopy. So he's used to building facilities with canopies. This is the only one that he owns that doesn't have a canopy to support the residents that use it. The spirit of the ordinance is observed. Because he's trying to do what's best for his business. And we're trying to encourage that activity. And we want to encourage the owner to improve his property and maintain his property. And he has plans, long-range plans to improve that facility. And he and I have talked about several instances about what we can do there, other than automotive repair in the garage. And we've discussed several issues. Currently, there is a basement under this building that's used by a person who does clean out your cars, do the PM for cars, and then also the garage is being used at the present time. What are his long-term goals? Long-term goals are, we've looked at convenience store. We've looked at, well, Krispy Kreme donuts. I mean, we've looked at a lot of different things that would be part of this facility, but nothing is, at this particular point in time, has any decision been made other than to operate it as it is today. The second thing that I'd like to do as an architect, and so would Mohammed, would be to dress up that property, because right now it's 100% paved. And there's been no, well, there's a small island of landscaping on Church Street. It has mailboxes in it for the neighborhood. And so we probably try to increase some landscaping and also to decrease the amount of pavement. Currently it drains to the river through an underground system established in the street and on site. I submitted opinions from realtors that basically say there's no diminution in value. And I feel that to be true at this point in time. So what's the unnecessary hardship with the ordinance? One is, we need to provide an impetus for people to make change and improve their properties, number one. Number two, what alternative does the owner have? It's just, I would just like to say that it's a valid project. I've given you a large site plan, which basically shows the infringement of the canopy to the street and the location of the tanks, and that has been field verified by me, field measured by me. And so I basically selected this smallest canopy that's available. It's a custom canopy. It's like 2 foot high. You know, and then there's a sign that says Budget Gas on one side and Budget Gas on the Mast Road side, but there's no external lighting. The signage is not lit. And any lighting that's installed will be on the bottom of the canopy to illuminate the gas pumps only. And I'll leave it up to the board of questions.
Any questions at this point, John?
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
I'm all set, thank
Teresa?
you.
Alan, would this project have you go to planning? If this were to be approved?
Most likely, because we're going to do some site modifications especially is it, because there's no curb, there's no delineation between the site and the street. There's not even a stripe on the street.
Right,
So, yes, we'll have to do something down there.
okay.
So we'll
Jackie,
be going to the
right,
planning
he's going
board
to
for
planning
site
board.
approval.
So that would also control the landscaping, that would also have to say regarding the lights,
Yes,
to making sure that they don't flood off the property.
correct.
Okay, just making sure that that's
And the hours of operation too.
correct.
Do you want to say something?
Yes,
Yes, please.
Madam Chair and...
Could you say your name for the record so they can record it? Thank you.
Madam Chair and other honorable members of this board, my name is Mohammed Mobeen, and presently I am the owner of this gas station located at 81 North Mast Road, Goffstown. I just want to clear one thing, first of all, that in today's meeting, all we are asking is a permission to install a canopy, nothing else. That's all we are asking, is to allow us to install a canopy. The reason and purpose gas station, the main reason gas stations have a canopy is for the safety of public, to provide them safety from the elements of nature, from rain, from snow, and when they come to fill up their car, the space where they will be standing will be dry, and there will be less risk for them to slip. Right now, this is the only gas station. I own in Goffstown, this is my third station. I own that mobile gas station at the corner of Mast Road, next to Dunkin' Donut, corner of Mast Road and Plummer. I had leased that out. I own that property, and I own another property further down, and then this property. If we look in greater Goffstown area or even Manchester area, you will not find any gas station that does not have a canopy. This gas station, for not having canopy, look dilapidated. Once the canopy is installed and place is renovated, it will improve the looks of the property also. I am a real estate broker also. I have been real estate broker since 1997. Even though I got some other real estate professionals to give you their professional opinion, but my own professional opinion, being a real estate broker in this area and licensed by state of New Hampshire since 1997, this is my professional opinion that property values will not be diminished by improving or installing a canopy. It will definitely give a new look, a fresh look. And I am sure this board want public safety also. This addition will not hurt the public interest. This addition will not hurt the public interest. This will benefit the public interest. This will provide us my main concern is safety. This will provide safety to the public. Hardship, there is a genuine hardship. If I want to, let's say the board asked me, why can't you relocate the tank somewhere else and put the canopy over there? I can't, because anywhere I go, I will have to seek for a variance. There is not enough room, and this station has been there more than 50 years or so. So there is a genuine hardship, and this will benefit the public interest. This will not diminish the property values, will increase the property values, and this definitely does meet all of the condition of the criteria this town requires. If there is any question, I'll be very happy to answer those questions. And Alan is with me also to answer. So right now, all we are asking is to increase the safety of the public. Let me install a canopy over there. I mean, the tanks are already there. The town allowed the previous owner to put the tanks beyond the property lines or with the variance. The pumps are there, everything is there. So canopy will not go beyond the concrete pad. It will stay within that concrete pad, which is already there.
Okay. Okay, you can take a seat, and I'm gonna open, ask if there's somebody in the public that would like to come up to speak.
Good evening.
Hi, if you could state your name.
Patrick McEntee, 80 North Mass Street.
And what was your first name?
Patrick McEntee, 80 North Mass Street.
Okay, and
Phyllis McEntee, 80 North Mass Street.
Could you please spell that?
MC, capital E, N-T-E-E.
I'm sorry, your name again?
Phyllis,
Phyllis.
correct.
And what was the address again, please?
80 North Mass.
Thanks.
Firstly, I'd like to start with the relationship between the zoning and Al Yetton with the gentleman that is seeking for this variance. They came in here like they've got a 27-year friendship. Al Yetton said that he was going to have to recuse himself, yet he's actually
Well, he's representing.
representing him. We live directly across the street from the gas station. When we first looked at this house, I remember the realtor saying like, well, you know, it's right across the street from the gas station. So this was on a Sunday, so of course it was pretty quiet. So we did our due diligence. We went across the street the following, Monday or Tuesday, and we talked with the then owner. And he said that, you know, he just did mostly car repairs and such. He had the two pumps, but they were only run from 7 o'clock till 4 o'clock, Monday through Friday. They were not open on the weekend. And
They weren't allowed to be.
I don't actually know how these pumps have been running for the past year without a suppression system 24/7.
He had been
Don't
there
know
30
how
years
that's-
and couldn't operate those pumps 24/7. You know, when he left, he couldn't leave the pumps on, people would get gas, because he didn't have a fire suppression system on. It would have cost him like 30 grand, so he opted out and just put a sign on his pumps every night, closed, and he never had them open. And he wasn't open Saturdays or Sundays.
So we didn't have that traffic on the weekends, you know, and at night. So it didn't impact us. Having a big awning over there now, you know, if this is what would come to be, which I will hire an attorney because this can't be, that's going to directly impact our real estate. That's going to,
Right. I mean, he said it wouldn't impact that based on some realtors that he apparently knows. If I
I've
looked
been a
at-
realtor since
if-
2002.
If I
It's
look-
going to
let me
impact.
finish. If I looked at that property and it was a big awning, it was open 24 hours, cars flying in and out of there, I would not have brought that property. It was quiet. Steve's only open from 7 to 5 every day. He went home every night. He didn't have it open on weekends. And he told us he wouldn't. And the trees just finally grew up just enough to block Steve's window from looking at our house, because we used to wave to him just jokingly. And they finally grew up enough to block that. And now we're gonna have lights. I'm sure the awning's gonna be more than 12, 14, 15 feet. It's gonna be above our trees. It's gonna be shining in our yard. This past Saturday, I went to the dump. I pulled out of my driveway to take a left to go downtown. I looked up, I had plenty of room. There's a car way up past Church Street. I had plenty of room to pull out. But there's a guy getting gas who apparently had different ideas. He put his foot on it, came flying out of there like he's coming out of pit road at a NASCAR race, and almost smashed into me. I had to jam my brakes on. I'm just trying to go to the dump. They're not looking. They just look up the road and they've got their foot on it going out of there. We had trucks at 4:30 in the morning, diesel trucks running while they're filling up. motorcycles filling up over there on weekends, which we never had before. And it will decrease our property value. I wouldn't buy a house across from a gas station.
We wouldn't have bought that house.
A
if it
small
was like
quaint
that.
gas station, has been there since the 50s, 60s, little island that's never open, only during the week, that's fine, we had no issue with that.
So now you're talking Krispy Kreme and all that stuff, we're gonna have a 7-Eleven across from our house?
Right.
This is
And there is-
crazy.
Excuse me, and I don't mean to be rude. Today, we're just talking about a canopy.
Got you.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
But he tipped his hand on what his
But
future plans are.
Right now, we've got the big budget gas sign that's above our trees, so that's made an impact. So if we have a big awning that is going to be above our trees again, we're gonna be flooded with light. We don't want that. Fair housing, right? You've gotta treat people the same way. If you did this for one, you do this for the other. We've been before this board before. We built a deck on our pool. It was larger than it should have been. It was
8 point something feet to it,
8.6.
let me finish. It was 7 feet, over to 8.6 feet to the property line. It was out in the backyard. Mr. Yaton went over and actually looked at my deck and brought up to the fact that, why are we even here? There's no issue with that.
We can't compare one case over
Correct,
another case
but-
because there are different matters.
I
with a lot of
understand, but we
people
were
who are gonna wanna
told then-
speak. Okay.
We were told that rules are meant
Rules
to
are
be
rules.
followed and variances are not gifts. And we spent $1,600, $600 on surveying to show exactly where it was, and $1,000 to get the thing repaired and brought a couple feet back inside the property line. And those were the exact words, and that we were shut down right there. Rules are meant to be followed and variances are not gifts. And remember that to this day,
That was.
the exact words from the board.
Given to
Remember.
us, and that's what we want to be given to this.
There are criteria that have to be met.
Also, is
And
that
that's
gas,
what-
excuse me, is that gas station, I mean, a gas station, shouldn't that be in the commercial district, like it's
You
Cumberland
know
Farms, a
what? The
different
gas
district?
station is there and it's not something we're here to discuss and why there's a gas station there.
It's
currently.
not zoned commercial
It's-
retail, it's
okay.
zoned
I-
small business office.
We are
Right there.
here to talk about a canopy. We're
Okay.
not
It's
not
here to
zoned for
talk.
Right, just drive it, we don't want the canopy, and we're gonna be coming back for the 7-Eleven
Going back
next.
with our attorney, I guess.
Right.
You can't do for one and not do for the
Right.
other. That's not why you have zoning.
We went through this down here before, we saw how
You
it
know,
happened.
it's the good old boy
Okay.
network.
We don't want to be going for back and forth. We're here talking about a canopy tonight.
Right,
All right.
That's all we're talking about.
and that's what we're talking about. We don't want
We don't
it.
want the-
We say
Okay,
no.
I know, and I
All right,
understand
sit down,
that.
let him speak.
Okay, somebody else from the public?
Denise,
Yes.
Is Gail going to actually record this from the video?
Yes.
So I don't have to write down all these things?
Well, that's helpful for us.
Okay.
Then I can write it too.
I'm doing my best here.
Thank you.
but-
You don't have to write the minutes though, just the names.
He's doing
Okay.
awesome.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Yes.
Would you please give us
My
your name?
name's Mark Chantel. I live at 80 Church Street. We own the house since '92. And my head, where I sleep, is the closest human body to that awning that you're talking about. The lights that are there now light up the whole half of the house at night, all night long, okay? I understand lighting and brightness and lumens and all that. My question is, how many lumens? I understand downlighting. The lighting that's gonna be at that awning is gonna be higher than my house. So it's gonna be coming right in the windows. You can talk of downlighting, great. But I got a video that I can show you. I've seen stuff in that property since '92. You wouldn't believe what I've seen. And when we bought that house, we didn't know it was gonna be open 24/7. I'm hearing people slamming their tailgates. I'm hearing things dropped on the ground at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm hearing people with those diesel exhaust systems that fly out of there. I'm hearing, the trucks that use the Jake brakes right at that gas station. And I'm sure everybody that lives there, we have a request for a sign for that now. Okay, because it's ridiculous. Mark, who owns the house behind me, said, if I'd have known it was gonna be this bad, I'd have never bought this house. Now, I'm surprised he's not here, because all the trash from the gas station ends up in his yard, in my yard. And I'm picking this stuff up. The other concern is, when we bought that house, there was it was only open till 5, 6 o'clock at night. Nothing on the weekends, nothing at night. 24/7 now. I wonder how it got to be that when Steve or Dennis before them couldn't do that. And that wasn't talked about to any of the abutters. So that awning you're speaking of is going to be shining right into my house, lighting up the whole half of the house. I have the pictures right here. You can see right where the awning's going to be. Right from the closest window to that awning for all your abutters. So as far as the noise, it's just, I hear people arguing in that parking lot at night. I think it's my neighbor yelling at his wife, but I know him too well. He wouldn't do that. And I hear them dropping things. I hear them slamming tailgates. Just all kinds of stuff now that you never heard before. And I guess, you know, you say you don't want to talk about that building that's going to go behind there or propose. That's going to be right in our living room. Can an 8-foot fence be put there? I don't know.
But that's not something that we are discussing this evening.
Right. So that's going to just ruin the value of our property if
Tonight-
that building goes in there.
We're only discussing the
Okay,
canopy.
okay,
I have
just so you know.
nothing in front of me that
Right.
shows anything different.
Right, right.
So that's what we have to,
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, you know, it was a blow to us. We didn't know that we were gonna have a gas station open 24/7. And you were gonna get people waking you up at 3 in the morning. Steve and Dennis that had the building before that, every now and again you would hear a tow truck bringing a car in at 1, 2, maybe 3 in the morning, once or twice a week. That's it. Now you're hearing cars every night, all night. So, I guess.
no, I appreciate you speaking.
Other than that, I know there's a ton of other things. Your Frenchman's drain that's closest to my house is clogged and overflowing into the other drain that does work. I look out the window, I look at it. I don't know if that's a construction issue, but it is a Frenchman's drain. I know it's clogged and it just overflows this deep and goes into the other drain that's by the back door. And as far as another building, I can't say no more.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, I'm sorry,
Blessings.
sir, could you please spell your last name for us?
CHANTAL.
All right, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public that would like to speak? Please.
Hi,
Hi, your name, please, for the
Jo-
record?
Joshua Dawes at 84 North Mast,
Thank you.
DAWS?
DAWES.
Thank you.
I wanted to bring up a couple notes regarding comparisons to existing canopies and gas stations that were raised. Regarding the Cumberland Farms in town, I can't say I've taken a tape measure out there. However, the construction of that lot, the canopy is lower in height as far as I am aware to the surrounding property. I believe it is a downgrade from the road surface relative to where the canopy is installed. So it reduces the effective height of the lighting of that canopy to the surrounding homes in terms of the variance granted for that property. The statement about no other gas stations in the greater area operating without a canopy, I believe there is one less than 10 minutes away in Ware. I know it as the Wise Owl gas station. I don't know the exact name of it, but they have a small fire suppression system strapped to the pumps themselves instead of a large canopy to operate. It's just possible if the issue is around fire safety compliance. I don't know if this canopy is going to have a fire suppression system installed, and that is something that was not brought up in the public safety consideration. The safety considerations seem to focus more on weather. But if fire suppression was something
That would be a
that-
building code issue, so,
Correct, but it
Not
was
something that we would deal
mentioned
with.
in the discussion by the applicant, so I wanted to address it.
okay.
And also, property value, my wife and I purchased our home in 2017. And when we were touring the home, similarly, we saw that there was a small gas station, and also took a look at it. Okay, quiet gas station, no significant bright lights. the lighting overall, it shut down at night, and so there have been no problems. We would occasionally be amused by the folks who would drive up at night, get upset when the pumps were turned off, and then drive away. From that, with the change in ownership, the new budget gas sign shines directly in our bedroom window. I know it was stated that the property directly across from the gas station has a row of trees and bushes. Now, our property does not. We look directly at that gas station. We have no visual barrier in that regard. And that would have a significant impact on home value. Whereas right now, we can see the Unkanukik Mountains from our front room. Not having a physical representation up there that you can blow up, look at it, it is difficult to say for 100% fact. However, knowing, I believe DOT code is a minimum clearance of 13 feet 10 inches for trucks for clearance of a canopy, and that's 2 feet above that, so we call it 16-foot tall structure. That would create a very large visual barrier and visual object relative to any view, scenery that New Hampshire is known for relative to the outdoors. Beyond that, anything relevant to the application of the canopy itself. As far as, let's see, the lighting, it is down lighting. Again, having the structure be 14 feet up off the ground, even though downlit, yes, I believe lights will still impinge or be visible into our property. Have I done a ray tracing or lumens assessment on that myself? No, I'm not an optical engineer. But the lighting right now has been something, even with just the new sign that is present there, with the new lights that are put in. I'm guessing they were replaced with LED lights that are brighter but more energy efficient. So from there, those would be the concerns that I have about this canopy itself. The opinion of my wife and I is that we would not be in favor of agreeing with this.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. Anybody else in the audience who would like to speak on this matter? The applicants can come back up, please. Does the board have any questions after listening to the
Yes.
public hearing?
Yes.
Great.
Hi, could I just ask, what are your hours of operation again?
Presently 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.,
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Or just Sunday to Sunday?
Uh,
7 days a week?
7 days a week.
Okay, so you're open 7 days a week?
Yes,
Okay, 6 a.m. to
9.
9 p.m.
The pumps run all night, though.
Yeah.
Okay, please,
It's open.
you've had your moment. It's his time to talk now, please. Okay. So you're open from 6 to 9.
Yes,
That's the store, the pumps, both are closed at 9.
yes.
Okay. Kim?
Is there a store in there?
There has been soda machines and some small convenience items in the past, and those items are there, yes.
Okay. What's your,
Um,
could I just ask, what's your comments on when I've heard that work goes on all night there in the middle of the night?
Yeah, that's where I was going to address those things. Madam Chair and Honorable Board, I respect my neighbors. If I was a house owner and a big change is coming close to my home, I am sure I will be concerned about those things also. But on the same time, I will be aware of few things. My neighbors have discussed few items, and I'm going to respond to their concerns. Almost all the neighbors, those who came here and discussed, they knew the gas station was there. Their real estate agent showed them gas station was there, and they bought a house over there where an existing gas station was already there, and the business would improve. I'm sure they would have an idea. This particular business, I just want to one more time make very, very clear to this board that almost everybody said opposed to 24-hour operation. There's no 24-hour operation over there, number one. Number two, I am not asking for 24-hour permission. When my neighbors bought the house few years ago in 1990s or before that, the things may have been very quiet over there. Not because the gas station was less busy or more busy, not because a canopy was there or canopy was not there. It may have been very quiet because there was less traffic. With the passage of time, Mast Road has become very busy. Canopy has nothing to do with that. At night time, I sympathize with my neighbors. At night time, if big trucks pass by over there or motorcycles drive around there, or even after I close, let's say I close my gas station, which has been, I became the owner of this gas station just a year and a half ago, and I have improved the looks of that building already. And I'm going to, as long as I own it, that will be my desire and responsibility to make sure that I improve the looks of that property and not to disturb my neighbors. So what I'm saying is, one of my neighbors just said some motorcycle guy came, zoom, and then went out. Now, what the driving habits of people are, I have no control on that. If a property is dark at night time, I'm not saying that I will brighten up the property, not, but I'm just bringing it to this board's attention. If my house is right here and this section is dark at night time, and some people can come and drug addicted or with racing cars or motorcycles make noises, but if there is some sort of a lighting, control lighting, that will not disturb the residents, that will avoid that kind of situations. So the noises at 2 a.m. in the morning or 3 a.m. in the morning or some odd hours of the night which bother the sleeps of my neighbor, that has nothing to do with the canopy. We have to accept that fact. Mast Road is a very busy road now, and it's going to get busier as time passes. The houses which are on that road, I guess they have to live with that, and that's the fact and that's the reality. We cannot change that. Canopy is not going to produce any noises or any extra light. The light will be one of the my neighbor mentioned that he is not an optical engineer. We will make sure that we will get, when a canopy is installed, if this board approves this canopy, which is for the safety reason, and I am sure everybody, if we are not prejudiced to this project as a non-bias, doesn't matter if you are sitting on that side of the table or this side of the table. Fair is fair. God is watching all of us. What is fair, what is fair. So if we are, as a judging this project without any bias, you will agree with me that having canopy will provide safety to the general public. Improving the looks of the gas station will not diminish the property values of this area. Adding a building in the back, that's not what I'm asking right now. And that's not my...
Right, we're speaking
so we are
just
not.
of the canopy. Any issues with that?
So
to
one
this
of
evening?
my, I made some of the notes. One of the concern was 24-hour operation.
Yeah, you've already
It is,
spoke-
it
yeah,
is not,
spoke of that.
and this will not be there. Gas station, when my neighbors bought the houses, the gas stations were there. The traffic is beyond my control at night time. I cannot ask them to, how to run their motorcycles or how to run their race cars at a night time. Signage, some of the people discuss about budget gas signage. That sign has been there for years and years and years. It's not a new sign. That sign been there. The suppression system and the other safety requirement, I am sure the building inspector and state of New Hampshire's fire department, whatever their safety requirement will be suppression system and any other whatever that would be required by the state of New Hampshire or stipulated with this from this board, I will be very happy to comply that. I mean, happy or not, I have to
You have
comply
to.
with that.
That's correct.
And I will comply with that.
Judy, while he's going through his notes, did you have another question? You look like you did.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, do the lights get shut off at 9 PM when you close?
Yes, the pylon sign gets shut off, yes.
Okay.
The price sign stays, the other lights get shut off, yes.
And there was a comment that the pumps run all night. So my question is not being any kind of mechanic towards that. Can you comment a little bit on what they meant by that? So I can understand?
You know, I want to answer this question with the fullest honesty, nothing less than that. My understanding is, and if I could be wrong, but 99% I am accurate. If we shut down the pumps from inside at night time when we close, nobody can utilize the pumps.
Right, that's the
so
purpose,
period.
right. Understood.
Any other-
So they are shut off at 9 PM?
Yes, when we close.
Yeah,
the
and then you
store.
flick it back on when you open?
Yes.
So we don't hear the
Yeah.
pressurization starting up over and over again all night?
No.
No, there would be none of that.
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
And also,
Not that that has
there's not
anything to
really,
do
if,
with this.
again, let's say, which it is not, for the record, I want to make sure that we understand. Let's say if this was a 24-hour gas station, just
Yeah.
for the heck of it, there's really no noise of pressure or anything. When you, I'm sure
Yeah.
every one of us.
I'm
will-
off the purview
Yeah.
of the variance anyway,
sure.
so just let me pull back.
So this is not a, this is,
So, okay.
this is not a 24-hour operation. I am not asking for 24-hour
No,
operation.
understood.
Just to increase the safety of general public so that people don't slip and fall in rain and in snow.
Yeah.
I like to install the canopy.
Okay.
Installing a canopy
Yeah.
will cost me money. It's
One
not
quick
going-
question, height?
Excuse
Can't-
me,
I'm
you've been
sorry.
heard, you will have another opportunity to come up, and he did not interrupt you, so please.
So,
Did I hear 15 feet high? What did I hear for a
Thank you
height?
for that.
It's 14 foot to the underside of the canopy.
Yeah,
And
you have-
then
2 foot.
this is governed by what you buy, which is a standard canopy, which is basically a 2-foot facade.
Okay, and the existing canopy is,
The existing building,
oh, I thought I saw a little
no, the existing building
picture here. Okay, yeah.
is actually 27 foot tall,
So it's gonna be below the building.
below the building.
below the,
That's not there though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the tax card showed something, but it's not really there. It
years
showed an old
ago,
home.
I heard that years ago there used to be a canopy.
Yeah,
So it's not now.
2 years ago.
If years ago there used to be a canopy, then, so,
I think when they replaced the tanks,
yeah.
they took the original canopy down and didn't replace it.
Okay, very good,
So,
thank you.
coming back to my, why I want to put canopy. Would canopy increase my sales? Maybe, maybe not. Why do I want to spend so much? It's going to cost me $80,000 probably to put a canopy. Now, when I know that it may and may not increase my sale, the traffic is going to be the same whichever is there, with or without a canopy. Why Mohammed Mobeen want to spend his money? Because to provide more safety to my customers. When they come, they don't slip and fall. That's the reason. That's the purpose. And to improve the looks of the property. That's the purpose. Not for any other purpose. Just to provide the safety to general public, to the consumer. And this canopy will not produce additional sounds. That's one of the concerns. This canopy will be zooming. That was other concern. This canopy will be a still canopy and will have a control light and will be conforming to the fire department, planning board, and the town of Goffstown's, all the requirement, whatever this board will recommend. One more time, and then I will let Alan talk. The purpose is to provide the safety to general public.
And visually, from across the street, you can't even see the roof of the garage through those trees. The trees are that tall now. So the canopy is much lower, so being able to see the canopy is almost nil, unless you're standing in their driveway.
The building is higher, canopy is lower than the building. So,
John, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Jason?
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay. You can go sit down. I'm gonna, if anybody in the audience has something new to talk about, they may come up.
Our trees, I can see the top of the building, I can see
Oh,
the
over
new
here.
budget gas sign.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
thank you, Tim. Speak with Doris, please.
To make that statement makes me realize that Al Yetton is on the side of the
Okay,
person
just
going
stick
through it.
with
You
facts,
can't-
please.
Well, the
Your
fact
facts.
is, well, Al didn't though, he said you can't see the top, you can't see
We're
the top of the
gonna, we
building.
will make a decision.
absolutely
We just
can.
want you to hear what you
How about the
have to say.
fact that Mr. Mohammed said that the pumps aren't off every night? They're on 24 hours a day. He's not there, obviously. they're on 24 hours a day without a suppression system. That's why Steve would not put that suppression system in. It's gonna cost him like 30, 40 grand. That's why he didn't put a canopy in the suppression system. So they're on all the time.
What
People
do
out
you
there
hear?
4 o'clock in the morning getting gas, 2 in the morning getting gas.
What do you hear?
What do I hear?
What
Cars
do you
pulling in.
hear?
It's gonna become a pit stop. There's 14
So
to
it's a
16,000
pit
cars
stop.
a day on that road. It's gonna be, everybody pulling in, it's gonna be a pit stop.
As the saying goes, if you build it, they will come. Once that awning, if that awning goes in, it's gonna be a pit stop. We're gonna have motorcycles roaring down there all
All
night
right,
long,
let's just end it with this.
24/7.
Rules are meant to be followed. Variances are not
Variances are not
gifts.
gifts. That's
We
what we
heard
were
that
given.
at the last meeting we had with Mr. Yates.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else that has anything new to add? Yes,
What's his name?
say your name again for the record, please, for the minutes.
Joshua Dawes.
Thank you.
Just to bring up the note again that was addressed in terms of being visible. Yes, our home does look directly at the property. I know the comments generally have addressed the property at 80 North, not 84 North Mass Street,
Okay,
where our home has an unobstructed view of the gas station in question.
right.
I'm sorry, just gonna click thoughts for a second. The zoning for the property is residential small business office, correct?
Correct.
Oh. You can stop me if this is not typically
Sure.
in the realm of the discussion. Would a property like this typically be approved for an RSBO 1 zoning now? Or
This
would it
is
require-
already approved as a gas station, so it would be either grandfathered or it's already gone through this. So as
Okay.
a gas station, it's a gas station.
Right,
So
no.
it doesn't really matter how it would be now, it is approved as a gas station.
Okay.
And
Well,
I'm not sure what the history of, like they said 50 years ago, I'm guessing there probably wasn't a variance, but could be wrong. I don't know how long they've been around, but.
So I'm just to answer your question from my point of view, I actually reread RSBO-1. And based on the way that I'm reading this, yes, a gas station would be approved there. They could be approved from a zoning perspective there.
Okay.
From a planning perspective, different discussion. For zoning only, yes, it could be.
Okay. Yeah, that was the question, whether if it wouldn't typically be now, then would adding to the infrastructure located at the site be in the spirit of that zoning?
Yes.
That just sounds like you might say yes. To follow up on the comments around the pumps being active, our home having a direct line of sight to the office in question. We have often seen the lights in the building being completely off, dark, and vehicles stopping for fuel at various times during the night. So even though the office is shut down, the lights are dark, the people are still stopping and fueling up their vehicles, just to address one of the questions that was raised. That's it.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have further questions for the applicant? Does the applicant have one final thing that you haven't already said?
Yes. My neighbor's concern about suppression system, that Steve did not want to get the suppression system done because it was going to cost money. I will meet with the fire department, and whatever it costs, if it is approved, I will make sure that if the pressure system is required, the way fire department required, it should be done that way.
If it's approved, you will have
If
no
it's
choice.
approved, we will have.
Right.
Number two
Right.
is when the lights are off and it is a gas station, people come and stop. If it's dark and people come and stop, they're going to come and stop and go. So if there is some sort of a light, they may not, they will see it's closed and may pass by.
I have a question. Do you have compressed air?
Say it again?
Compressed air, do you have that there? Well, any gas stations have
no,
that? Okay.
no, I
I was
don't.
just curious.
No, I
if
don't.
That's making
No.
some noise. Okay.
Yes, no, I don't.
Thank you. Okay,
I'm all set.
okay, you may be seated.
Thank you.
I'm gonna close the public hearing. For discussion. Open, let's go.
The variance is for a, you know, the roof, the top. So, yeah,
The discussion we have here, setbacks.
the island,
Yeah.
the
The
canopy.
The setbacks and canopy.
Mhm.
So the setbacks.
I
are-
will, Jack, this will be going to planning if we were to approve.
Yes,
It's very important
yes,
because that will address lighting.
yes.
Thank you.
So I was actually gonna mention that. So I'm ready to make a motion, but I'm gonna add a restriction to it that's gonna involve the lighting, but we can because it's specified in the district, in the RSBO zone.
Okay. Do you have any comments before he makes a motion?
No, I'm good.
My comment, I do have a comment. If, listening to abutters, talking about it being open 24/7, that is obviously, it is licensed to be open till 9 PM, is that correct?
Yes,
So if they are open overnight, that is a violation.
correct.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that that is something that if it's proven that they are open past 9 o'clock or prior to 7, excuse me?
Planning board.
Planning board will do that, so, but it would be a violation.
Yes.
So, I mean, I just want to make sure the abutters understand that and the owner understands that this is scheduled to be open from 7 to 9. Planning will have more control over that. But if it's open before or after the hours that they are permitted to do, it is a violation and you have full rights to call Jack at the town. And there are fines, so I just want to make sure that's clear. Okay.
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 You're on.
So I'm gonna motion to approve the canopy variance to allow the canopy to be installed at an existing gas station service garage that will be located 18 feet from the property line and 15 feet from the side property line, whereas 25 setback is required at 81 North Mass Street, which is zoned RSBO. But the variance approval would come with the restriction that the lights on the canopy are off while the gas station is closed.
Okay.
Then planning can deal with hours and all the rest of
Can
that
you
stuff.
also talk about the height of the canopy, please, in that, to restrict the height?
I would say that the height restriction,
Where's my notes?
what do we have in here? Is it 14 feet? I
It's
could look
16
at-
to the top,
16 to the top.
correct?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, there's.
14 plus 2.
I don't see a reason to, I mean, we could say that it's not to exceed
Correct.
16 feet.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
then yes,
restrict
I would-
that height,
I would
yes.
restrict the height to
Thank you.
not to
Because
exceed
that's an
16
issue
feet.
for seeing over.
Yeah. Yep, that's reasonable.
Can you go through the criteria
Yeah.
for the variance?
So, the variance not being contrary to the public interest. So in an RSBO 1 district, it has to, the property has to be operated in a scale or manner that would properly balance traffic congestion, visual conflicts, light, noise, and other impacts. There is a safety component involved with that, and I believe that from a zoning perspective, that does satisfy the public interest. Spirit of the ordinance is observed. They're doing the best they can with the distances on given the property. granting the variance would do substantial justice. The property owner can't really place it anywhere else, so that's kind of the only option for space. Value of surrounding properties will not be diminished. In an RSBO1 zone, that has to be operated with that, and when you have R1 and R2 around it, I don't know, given the contrasting things, that the surrounding properties would be diminished. I expect to see a canopy over a gas station. That's just the way it is.
And it's also been there for 50 years.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, the gas station has been there, so it's a gas station. And then the hardship with the tanks located where they are, they have to put it there, so that satisfies all of those.
Another part of the hardship is that they actually have 3 fronts on that piece of property.
Oh, yeah.
And that
Yep, that's right,
restricts their footprint.
thank you.
Second,
I'll second it.
any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. A note to the abutters, this will be going to planning, and that's where they're gonna discuss lighting,
And hours, and
hours, traffic. That is not what we discuss here. Thank you.
Shouldn't have tipped his hand saying gonna put a 7-Eleven eventually.
Great job, Al.
Thank you.
Again.
Okay.
what do I do with my name? Oh, there they are. There they are.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna need some help with this name.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, please.
Deo Gracias, but you can just call me Deo.
Deo
Moano.
Moano. Applicant owner is seeking a variance to allow for a detached accessory dwelling unit that will be approximately 1,000 square feet in size, whereas per section 5.2.1 of the Goffstown zoning ordinance, the accessory dwelling unit shall not occupy more than 800 square feet of gross floor area. Previously, on July 11, 2023, both a special exception and a variance was granted to allow for the detached accessory dwelling unit. The property is located at 140 South Mass Street, map 31, lot 7, zoned residential 1.
I will motion no regional impact.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'm sorry, Alan seconded that, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, Gail, I'm doing my best.
That's okay. She does go by
You're
that.
doing a good job.
Okay. Can you tell us why you're here? And
Hello, hi, Deo. I reside at 140 South Mass Street. I just passed around a package that kind of creates chronological slides of where I started and where I am now. So I came here last summer for a variance for a building that was in my lot that's been there for a very long time, where I came to ask for to be able to renovate it, to bring power, sewage, add two levels to it. I'm here because there were a difference in the structure. Initially, when we came for an approval, we were looking to keep one section of the home or the building open, so it had an open concept type of look to it, which kept it at under 850 square feet. I believe when I came, living space was going to be probably around 750 total square foot. Going by the original foundation that was there prior, when my contractor finally had a chance to start building, he realized that it was going to be more cost efficient to just do a one floor level on the first floor and the second floor instead of keeping the area open. In result of that, because of closing off that section, it added 250 square feet of living space on the second floor. So on the images that I provided, it kind of provides
Jack, can we close that door, please?
the images that I just provided. It shows,
Do you have another packet?
yes, it's actually
Oh,
right next to your.
Thank you. Let me see it.
So in the package that I'm sending, the two photos shows what the building was prior, and then the plans that was submitted when I originally came here for the variance. And you will find that in the plan itself, on the third page, it shows the layout, how it was going to be open on the second floor, and the other half having a bedroom and a bath. And then if you continue on, it actually shows what the current build is. So it gives you a perspective of what it looks like now. Everything that we've done throughout this build, we've consulted with the town, the inspector, and to make sure that we were following the proper guidance. And one of the other thing that's a little bit different is on the sides, because of it's an old foundation, my contractor did come to the town to ask for permission if he can extend the exterior just a little bit in order to build it within the same structure evenly all the way out. But what I'm asking for today is if you go towards the end of the pictures that I just provided, it shows how on the first floor, the ceiling is completely covered, and then on the second floor, it adds an additional 250 square feet. So the total of actual living space will be 950 square feet total. And we've gone to the town along the way with every steps that we've taken. In result of that, we were asked to come back to you all in order to try to get an approval for that additional space.
So your initial variance was for 800 square feet,
Yes,
and you built it larger.
but the total, oh no, I'm just clarifying.
No, but I'm just
Yeah.
asking that question.
Yes, yep.
Okay,
Due
that's
to
why you're here
due to the
tonight.
opening, yes.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for the applicant?
Can the abutters get?
No, you'll be asked when we're done with talking to him. So you're gonna have to explain to me how an 800 square foot variance turned into a 1,000 feet. Because that's a whole different variance.
Yep,
I was on the board when we gave you that variance.
yep.
We don't look lightly at giving variances for detached accessory building. We did because it was existing.
Yes.
And we were pretty clear about that footprint and the square footage.
100%.
So you're gonna have to explain to me and this board how that became more than 800 feet,
Yep, I'm gonna try to explain it again.
okay?
In the initial application, there was 2 levels, we provided the plan. On the first floor, there was an opening, so it was completely open to the ceiling, all the way up to the roof line.
Okay,
And then the other second part of the second floor, that's where the bedroom and the bathroom was going to be. So during the construction phase, my contractor, for the cost purposes, said it's best to just do instead of keeping the living room downstairs open, to just do 1 level, because it was gonna cost additional amount of money. So when we reached out to the town, we were advised either we keep that one area that's upstairs, that's an added area, not finished, keep it rough, and put a wall and close it out. And then I said, is it possible to go and ask for a variance for that? And the town advised, you can try to do
okay,
that.
so that's what
And
brings
that's
you
why
here
I'm
today.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's already done.
The The area where this additional 200 square feet, it is not done. It's still in rough
Not
shape.
finished.
It has
So, yep.
no flooring, no drywall. It does have windows, yeah. It has, and if you can see it in the picture, I actually have some of the pictures here that
Yeah,
shows.
I was having a hard time with the detail of it.
This is the space.
Yeah. So the second floor is in the next slide.
So it's completed, it's just not finished.
It's not finished
No
yet.
drywall.
On the second floor where the 200 square feet is.
How about the rest of the house, is it finished?
It is not finished. It does have drywall, it doesn't have power, we're still waiting for Eversource to bring power there. So the house, it is not completed.
So, the original was only one floor, right?
The original was
Okay,
only.
that's what, alright, that's the part that was throwing me off.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm kinda with Denise on this one, like, I'm going right to hardship, I don't see one. You decided you wanted a second floor, that's not hardship.
Part of our variance ask, it did include the
A
design.
partial second floor.
Second floor, that was part of the ask in the application. And
They
if you
to
look
keep
at,
it under 800 square feet.
Yep.
They didn't build the front half on the second floor. It was open
Cathedral.
to below, like a cathedral
Right.
shape.
Cathedral.
Right.
Two-story cathedral.
when we came for a variance, I'm gonna repeat it again one more time. When we came for the variance, the building structure that you're seeing in the image is what we asked for. And we included that in the plan, and we included it on the design. The only thing that's different is it doesn't have cathedral opening. It has an additional 200 square feet because it's closed out.
They filled the floor in instead of having it open on the second floor.
But it still says open to above.
Because I'm showing, I just brought it back in order to show you
That's
what
what
it's
initially
from.
came
That's
from.
the-
This is the original.
Yes.
No, and the second floor. The
And the
bedroom,
There was a bedroom on the second floor.
Yes.
that's what they were approved for
Too.
800
They were
square
approved
foot,
of this was open, they
ADA.
closed this off.
Where's the
Okay.
They
second
finished
floor?
that.
right?
Right, no,
So they
I,
added,
Correct.
they added
Where
this.
was the
No.
second floor?
right, but is this the new plan or the old plan?
That's the old plan.
That's
Okay,
just-
right.
Again, I'm
That
bringing it
was-
just to show you what you all approved when I came for a variance last
What it
year.
was, I remember.
Alright,
I remember
So
this.
they turned it into that.
right, so now you
Okay.
just
So do
put
I.
a floor in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right there.
Well, so I'm still in the same position though, it's different than what we originally approved because there's now a floor where there was supposed to be nothing.
That's correct. Now, in consideration, state law says 1,000 square feet.
But our zoning.
Our zoning says
Not.
800 square feet. If you go to surrounding towns, they're all different. I'm trying to do one in Bedford, and they're having an argument about going to 1,400 square feet for an ADU. But that's a whole different town.
Correct.
Right, this is Goffstown.
So
Goffstown's
there's a
850.
move on across the state to increase the sizes of ADUs, but it'll have to take a motion and a change in the law at the state legislature. to be
And
able
we're
to
not
Can
there.
we
do that.
save this discussion till we finish
Oh, yeah,
with
sorry.
the public and the applicant, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. Do you have anything else to state regarding
Wait,
this
I'm
before
sorry.
the public hearing? Yes,
So,
please.
so back to what I was saying though, what is, I don't understand the hardship for leaving it open versus putting a floor there. I don't understand. So I need a little bit more clarification, because I don't see a hardship.
Again, I'm gonna explain it again. From a cost perspective, when my
That's
contractor.
not a
was
hardship.
built- I totally understand that. And when we went to the town,
Mm.
after that area was covered, we were told, based on what you got approved for, that section of the second floor, if you don't finish it, it's not livable, you can still have that area, in terms of having a floor, but not having drywall or having a finished floor and closing it off. And then we were asked to come back to you all in order to ask for a variance because it's an additional 200 square feet.
Oh, I see.
Okay, I think there's a little bit of confusion. The 200 additional square feet is not in the space that's being left emptied. The additional 200 square feet is in what's going
What's
to
already in
become
the structure?
the,
The second floor.
it is what is gonna be the ADU unit. And then you got the floor above that's gonna be left unfinished. That's above and beyond the 1,000 feet.
No, it's not. Just for correction.
What you're asking for an ADU unit is 1,000 feet. Isn't that because the footprint is a little bit larger?
No, it's because the second floor was filled in.
The second floor was filled in. Originally, when we came here in the summer, we provided the design that I brought today.
Yes.
In that design is 2 level. One area of the first floor was open. It was cathedral
2 stories
ceiling.
high.
Right, right
With
here.
that area open, it's roughly about 250 square feet that was not going to be used in order to fulfill what I came here for. But the structure itself is still completely the same of what I came here initially. During the construction phase, my contractor stated for a cost purpose that he needed to fill the entire first floor. And I came to the town and I said, I am in this predicament here with my contractor. And the town informed me, as long as I don't finish that portion of that section upstairs, I will still meet the requirement of 800 square feet. If you want to finish that area, you would have to come back to the board, the CBE or the CBA. You would have to come back to them and ask for an additional approval in order for that space to be approved, which will accommodate to a total of 1,000 square feet. And that's why I'm here. So in the renovation today of what we've done, we've kept that 250 square feet upstairs unfinished because we don't have the approval from you all in order to accommodate for that. If we don't finish that section, we're still under 800 square feet of what I got approved last year on it.
It's non-occupiable space.
Okay, so there's a wall there right now. Okay.
So the only control that you have is through the building department.
Right. And that space can't be used for storage either, right?
No,
Okay, it has to be empty.
empty completely.
Okay.
He has to build a wall there and cover it up with no door. But I don't think he'll let it go without a door, because you need access to any concealed space
Yeah, it
in
has
the
to,
house.
it has to be a door by
Right, so it could be an external door.
I don't like it.
Well, again, I don't see a hardship here. So, but that's a discussion for after.
So am I correct in saying they filled in the floor in the cathedral and created more second floor space?
Correct.
Right.
As a
it's-
builder, I don't see that, the cathedral's cheaper than adding the second floor. I don't see how the contractor got involved saying it's, that's where I'm lost here. It's not a cost savings to add the second floor. This is a cost, it's an add to add the second floor. So this is where I'm getting lost, because if it's cathedral, it's
You're
a
not
lot
lost.
cheaper than adding the second floor. All the frame, the electrical, the insulation, the
materials, right?
plumbing and everything.
I even
So
did that.
that's what's catching me.
So, and I wanna just make sure that, cause what you said too, I wanna make sure. So this space here, that's currently walled off, is roughly 280 square feet.
250, yeah.
50.
Okay, so this, you're not including the stairs, because as soon as that's open again, that's included now. Right?
It's only livable space.
No, that stairs are there.
They're
because
there
you
for
still got
for that
the-
small
the other-
part.
Right, but they become part of the space,
That
that
is correct.
calculation, yeah, so that, it's actually 280 square feet. I just did the math, it's 279.69.
Okay, if you'd like to sit down, I'd like to see if there's somebody in the audience. While I'm waiting for that, Jack, do you have the dimensions of this building for us?
I couldn't get to the file in time.
I was going by this drawing, it says.
Well, that's not from Joe. I want to know
I have the drawings.
what they are.
Down the
Okay.
flame and all that.
Right, it's just in
Can
materials.
you get to
Well,
visit?
Could you go get them?
Thank you.
You can't get in? Okay, unfortunately. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
Well, we can go by the tax card.
Can you get into vision appraisal?
no, you,
I could if I could get that password.
no, because you're not
I can.
necessarily gonna be exactly what was built, and that's what I wanted to know. Okay, anybody from the audience like to speak, please, come on up.
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Dana Seelig, and we own the house on
Okay, spell your last name, please.
Selig,
Thank you, go
and
ahead.
we own the house that abuts Deo on 134 South Mass Street. So we've watched this whole thing for the past couple of years go on, and I don't have an issue with what he's done, because it is an improvement. I understand he's got family coming. But what I do have an issue with is, like this builder pointed out, when I went and looked at the pictures, the foundation was here, and then there was a 2-foot extension on the frame. So they added past the foundation by a couple feet, which I don't understand, because the structure was there. I knew Mr. Karanikis when he owned the house. I actually went into that building. So there's an extension that's added. The other question I have is, again, I think it's a great idea. I have a mother-in-law and a son that's handicapped, and we'd like to do the same thing at 134. But what I hear is, if I build a structure that is 20 feet wide by, what would give me 800 square feet?
40.
20 by 40? And I put a first floor and I finish that, and then I run a set of stairs upstairs and put a door and build a 20 by 40, but I don't finish it. Is that just unfinished space? Is that how that works? Because that's what I'm hearing. I mean, as the builder knows, I'm not silly. I know how people work. I mean, I would, in the future, you never know with them. But that's what I'm hearing. Am I incorrect on that? I just want to make sure that this is how I understand this. Because as a builder, I would do the same thing. I mean, why not just build something, 10 by 50 and then add the second story, but I'm not going to finish it. And then later on, I can just finish it. And I do understand this. I mean, I'm familiar with how things work. I do understand do it now, ask forgiveness later. But this one's a big one. And there's a lot of forgiveness that's needed to be given on this one, I think. It just, the way that it came about, it wasn't really right. So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
I'm not against it, but it was just not handled properly. I
Appreciate your
guess.
time.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience would like to speak?
She doesn't want to hear.
I'm sorry?
The picture of the old house, yes, need to see it.
Can we get a packet?
Does anybody ever?
We didn't get a
I
packet.
don't think I wrote on this packet, so you can have this one. Okay, We can share. Here you go, John, we can share.
There you go, no problem.
But we need your name and
Thank you.
all that good stuff.
I'm Sean Collins,
SE?
SHAWN, I live at 148 South Mass Street, which is directly next door to Dio. And I'm the one that cleaned out Kanikas' house, so I know all about it. And what was told to us in the first meeting, first I gotta go off a little bit. What I felt was misled. We agree that there was a hardship, bring his family in, understand that. He was gonna put a loft up so they could have a bedroom, understand that. What went up was a whole new house. It may not be finished inside yet all the way, I understand that. But they went 2 feet on each side of the basement and then up. Didn't agree to that. We thought there was supposed to be, what happened is the contractor came in and took the house down. Apparently Dio was on vacation, didn't know about it, it happened. Jack showed up, saw it, wasn't happy. But, shouldn't have been another planning board? The building's not there. You guys approved it. It's gone. Should have been another, that's just my opinion. At that point, we should have had another meeting instead of what we're doing right now. Him begging for more space. So that's my little personal attack, I apologize. So he went up 2 floors.
plus an attic. Nobody wants to talk about this attic.
No, there's no attic.
No? Would you bet your paycheck on it?
Yeah, I've got pictures backing up.
Well, I can see a peak. There's a crawl space. That's an attic, whether you want to call it an attic
Okay,
or not.
let's not get argumentative, please.
Yeah, but Jack didn't return my calls. He called my wife when we were bringing this up. Called my wife, told her it was 799 feet. Guess you're not gonna say that now. Didn't call me back at all. Didn't even have the courtesy to come over and walk us through what's going on. I feel that if it was my job, I would have done that. But we didn't go that route. Now we're here, he needs more space. It's an eyesore now. It looks right into my neighbor's backyard, into their hot tub. So what's he gonna do to protect himself? You say it's not livable space, this 250, but there's a window, a big bay window, staring into my neighbor's yard. So that's not living in a space, it's got a window in it. So these are the complaints I have right now. If everybody was trustworthy, he would have came to us as the neighbors and talked to us about it. Said, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, I don't know what to do. And then we probably could have gave him some insight. That didn't happen. It was all hidden. Everything's been behind this fence that's up around there now. Can't see it from the front. Can't see it from the side. The only way you can see anything is through that driveway. And that's all we get to see. I don't want to intrude on his property, but it would have been nice if you'd have kept me in touch and not just scoot us aside and wait for forgiveness later. I'm going to flat out say I disapprove this. And you heard it before, but you will see my lawyer. Thank you.
Anybody else from the audience would like to make a comment?
Hi, my name is Deborah Sawyer. I live at 8 Park Lane. My backyard looks right into
Could you
their
please
backyard.
spell your name?
S-A-W-Y-E-R.
Can you please give her the respect that she gave you?
Your first name
Thank you.
too.
Deborah.
D-E-B-O-R-A-H.
I was here for the meeting in July. I have the minutes from the meeting in July. Len Stewart said there's a problem he sees is that the 17.5 feet limit on the height of an accessory structure. We'd have to look in how you can stay within that, adding a second story. The 35-foot cited was normal for construction. Len Stewart said that the threshold is an issue. Well, let's see, they look right into my yard. I got 3 windows on one side, 3 windows on the other side, and I've got no privacy in the world whatsoever right now. My whole back side of my house is exposed. If that's not going to be livable space, why to put windows in it? That's my only question. I don't like it. I think we were deceived, very much so, because he was going to loft it. And now that's not a loft. That's a 2-story structure with attic space. Crawl space, if anything else. But it's still space. That's all I've got to say.
Okay, appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the audience? No comment. Can the applicant come back up if he has something to add? Or respond to some of these comments? from the
Yes.
butters? Thank you.
So with due respect to all my neighbors, when I came here last summer, in my application was the plan, even the exterior structure, what it was going to look like. The same plan that I just shared with you today is the same plan that was submitted. When we discussed how high it was going to go, you all informed me as long as it's under 35 feet. There's no deceivingness in this process whatsoever. Everything was submitted. The only thing that changed in terms of the structure itself was indeed a couple of I heard 2 feet. A couple of inches that came out on the side, which was consulted by the town because the old foundation was not, it's not even in order to place what was being built exactly on top of the foundation that was there prior. And that was consulted by the town. So to hear that we deceived our neighbors, the package of the plan, 2 stories, all of that was provided prior. So I'm a little surprised by that. The second comment I want to address, and that's why I included the photo. I believe Deb just said that the structure is lingering over her yard. I'm baffled by that, because if you look at the last picture that I included in the 2 last photos that I included in this package, this property has 1.6 acres total. The structure that was there prior is on one side of the yard. And where the neighbors, Deb and Sean who just spoke, is completely on the opposite side. And you can see the white fence. There's no way that, first of all, we made the investment to put the fence up when we first purchased the property. Yes, I understand that the property was vacant for the last 15 years. I'm sure my neighbors got familiar with the reality of what it was there prior. But when we acquired the building and the property, we cut a lot of the dead trees that were there and we put up those fences. There is no way that that red house that's completely in the opposite side encroaching on their privacy. And just look at the picture yourself. I would really encourage you, second to last picture in the document. So I really want to address that. The other thing that I want to bring up is the fact that the 800 square feet included both levels when we came here, included the bathrooms. Everything that you all approved was already here. There's no deceivingness. Every step of everything that we've done in that property, we've consulted with the town. We've had people to look at. I've done my due diligence. There's no deceiving here, just to be fair with everyone. The other statement that I want to address is, with all due respect to my neighbors, I don't own my neighbors in approval. It's the town and the proper measures that are here when it comes to any work that I do in my property that I'm paying taxes on. I do have to, unless if I'm encroaching in their side of the yard, that would be one thing. But I don't own any approval. There's no reason for me to come and get an approval from my neighbors around what I need to do when it comes to my own property. I have to abide by the rules that this town has, and that's why I'm here tonight, with complete transparency in every step of everything that I've done. So I do want to address that. And I do get it. If, again, the property's been vacant for 15 years, I'm sure my neighbors have enjoyed that. But if they were interested in retaining the experience that they've had for the last 15 years, maybe they all should have came together, bought the property, and leave it the way it is. We, in the current state of where things are, my wife and I are beginning to feel like we've done something wrong. We see people constantly looking at what we're doing. We have the right, as long as we're abiding by the law of this town, to do what we need to do with our own property. And we've taken the right measure. I come here in front of you today to ask for those additional 200 square feet to be approved. But with all due respect to you all, if you disagree on it, we will take the right measure to even go back to whatever that we came back to when we initially came here a year ago and for what we asked for. There's no deceivingness. I've owned multiple property in this town, and you've seen me here multiple times. At every second and moment where we need a variance, I show up here and I ask for permission. So I just want to be very transparent in that. And again, I will encourage you, please look at the second photo there is a huge distance from where that structure is built. That structure was there before, prior, for many years. It was in a very horrible condition. We have found more and more things that we've had to update in order for the space to be safe. We've increased the value of the neighborhood in terms of the work that we've done, upgrading the power that was there prior. There was a lot of surprises that we didn't know about this property prior to us purchasing it, and we've done our due diligence to ensure that everything is safe and it's accordance. So I just want to be completely transparent with you all in regards to that. But there's no deceivingness. The structure that's there, that was there prior, the only reason we went out on the side is because the foundation was not even. We would have had to tear down the entire foundation and pour a new foundation in order for it to be even. And we consulted that with the town, and we made sure that whatever that the final product was going to be of the building was going to fall under the 800 square feet that we got approved.
Okay.
And that's why I'm here tonight, just to ask for that additional space that was supposed to be the cathedral's area that ended up getting covered. So I just want to be clear with that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
I have one question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
To clarify. So, did the building come down? So the building was raised?
So the building that was there prior, it had a pitch, you can see on the first picture.
Not question I asked, yes
Yeah,
or no?
it did.
You raised the building?
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
completely demoed.
Thank you.
Yes.
How big, what's the footprint? What are the dimensions of the house as it sits right now? Can you tell me how wide it is and how deep it is? Just two basic dimensions.
Yep. So deep is it's 29 feet, long, and then wide it is 17.5 to 18 out.
Now, we have a drawing in this file that says it's 15.5 feet wide.
Yep, and the reason why it went wide, it was because on both sides, it needed a Jack, I don't know if you can help me in terms of, what is it called, a lever?
Cantilever.
Cantilever, it needed a cantilever because the foundation that was there prior was not even, all across.
And so now, instead of 15.5 feet, it's 18?
18 total, yeah, with the cantilever.
So that's bigger than when you started. You showed us a dimension which is 15.5, so how many square feet in this place? Really?
I need to know how many square feet is on the main floor, and that's in the upstairs bedroom only, is what I need to know what that square footage is.
I actually calculated it before.
But you can't, you have to go by actual measurements, not something that's been sketched on something.
Jack?
I wanna know the exact.
Is that foundation out of square or something?
It's wavy. It's a block, and it's kind of, it was done,
Can you allow them to build on it?
no.
Okay,
I
let's,
was,
1,044.
should we open the public hearing again and then come back and then we can have
I don't
discussion?
think we closed the public hearing yet.
Not open it, I wanna see if anybody wants to come back.
Oh, well, that's entirely your purview.
Yes. Would
Madam
anybody
Chair.
else like to come back up to speak? Okay, if you can sit down for one moment, we'll have
Okay.
somebody else come.
Hold on, let's go back here.
Hi, Dana Seelig again, Deo's neighbor at 134 South Mass Street. So I hear what Deo is saying about this square thing with the foundation, but I mean, how do I want to explain this? You don't need 2 feet to straighten that out. It just doesn't work that way. So the principle of my foundation was out of square or was wavy and I needed to extend it out, whatever amount it is, just doesn't work. I've been doing it my whole life, he's been doing it his whole life, Jack's been doing it his whole life. There are ways around that. And what happened was your builder just went and did it anyways. and then figured he would come to the meeting and ask forgiveness later. And this is what the issue is. This isn't about you or what you've done. I'm all for what you've done. I'm your neighbor. I like it. I've been waiting for somebody to do this because I have an in-law. I have a handicapped son. I want to do the same thing. But there are rules. And what you've done is you've allowed me now to sit here and say, hey, I want to build a 1,200 square foot house because my son's got a girlfriend and I need 2 bathrooms. And I looked at your prints. I looked at all the information. So while I understand what you're saying, I think you're being misled by your builder, or you've been misled by your builder terribly. And unfortunately, this is where we're at. And I mean, it just is what it is. I'm for what he's done. I mean, I'm not looking for you to take it down. But the issue is I'm your neighbor, so if you're gonna get 1,000 square feet, or actually I think you're probably close to 1,200, because I counted the sheets of plywood when he did it. So the only thing I want is I want to be able to do the same thing on my property for my mother-in-law. That's all I ask.
Okay, anybody else have something new to add? Okay, does anybody on the board have more questions for the applicant?
No.
Does the applicant have anything else to add before we close the public hearing? That's new, please. Any new information that you'd like to share with us?
Again, I just want to say that there's no sense of ask for forgiveness after. We consulted with the town in everything that we did in order to ensure that whatever process that we made was going to be accordingly. And it's not 2 feet on both sides, by the way. It's in terms of the additional that was created on the side in order to accommodate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm closing the public hearing.
That's what we approved.
No, we did not. We approved 800. It's clear in the minutes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
No, I closed the public hearing, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna make a statement. When somebody comes in here, I don't take into consideration forgiveness, whether they have a variance, whether they went over the variance, they did the work ahead of time. I listen to the facts. It's simple as that. That's how I treat this. Like somebody's coming here, what would I have done? Would I have increased the 800 to larger? That's what I put in my head. That's my way of doing things. Just want to be very clear to everybody out there.
So I'll add something as well.
Sure.
I think the board knows that I'm not much of a stranger when it comes to detached ADUs.
No, you're not. That's why you're on the board.
But again, there's something to be said for following the rules. You know, when I did mine, we were very, very much in tune to that 800 square feet, and we stayed well below it. And we were able to follow, you know, we got our variance, we got our special exception, we followed the rules. That's it. I mean, the hardships and stuff, we already went over that. So now, when we come back to this, which is a variance for additional, I have to look at the hardship of, okay, well, how do I take the old hardship and apply it to this too? Because it's an extension. And it said in the application is an additional, which means we have to look at the other variance. In this particular case, you know, like you said, we want to look at facts. Okay. Well, when it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, are we going to change what was presented to the board, which we've always discussed here since I've been on the board, that when a plan is, you know, we approve a variance, it's based on the plans and stuff that were there. Well, that wasn't followed. If it was going to change, it should have come back to us.
Correct.
It did not. So I find that to be problematic.
Okay. Alan?
No comment.
John?
I'm under the same premise as he is. It should have come back before the initial, so the brakes, for me, to do something without conferring, the brakes, the phone gets picked up, Jack gets a phone call, whoever, oh, you gotta go back in front of ZBA. I've been here numerous times because of certain situations, and to let it, you are taking a chance by moving forward without that blessing.
Judy?
Actually,
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Marcia.
I have one more thing, right? When the building was raised, it should have come back to us, right? Because that was, no?
No.
Oh,
Gave him
okay.
the
Because
meat
it
that
changed
was
the
getting
dimensions of the building.
down. That's different.
But
They were
we
gonna-
didn't discuss the building being raised when we
We knew it
did.
was getting replaced, it was
I did
pretty
not.
bad.
Having been on the board
It was
then,
going in the same footprint.
right, but I thought they were going to be adjusting the stuff that was there. The framing and the basic structure was gonna stay there, they're gonna fix it.
It was gone.
And
Yeah,
that's something that
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, I got my variance, I knocked down my garage and built something else.
Well,
I have to
no,
scratch my head on this one.
My recollection is that it was in the footprint of the building. Because it was, you look at the old pictures, it was
Oh,
a tear down. I mean,
The old pictures, it was neglected and
it
unattended.
was, okay. Judy,
I'm all set.
you know, anything to add?
No.
Awful quiet.
Well, I have something
That's
to add.
okay.
Jack?
When I brought this to the attention, because I went there and I put a stop work on it
Okay.
to come to the town hall. And I suggested, instead of Patty, of reapplying for additional variance.
And when was that notice given? At what stage work?
Stage work was on the framing, on the rough framing, when they already had the first and second floor in, when I just happened to stop by, where the Z-board was still up. And I walked in and I said, stop. And I measured it out and I just said, nope, you can't do anything with that room there. Because I guess the builder was under the presence that he was excluding all the closets and everything else. I said, no, GLA is GLA.
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm gonna tell everybody what my issue is. My issue is all those windows. On a second floor that would not have been there had it been done as drawn. If the windows would be there, certainly not somebody looking out the windows. It changes the whole thing. Whether you like the building, you don't like the building, to me is irrelevant. It's what we gave a variance for.
But there were windows in the second floor.
Yeah,
But they had two storage,
but-
shown in the original plan.
But Denise's point is those windows weren't usable because you can't stand 16 feet to look out them.
They were just for light.
Yeah, thank you for voicing that, because that was a thought that I had. Well, I guess you guys gonna make somebody else do this.
Okay, and I have another question.
Oh.
The variance, was it for just 800 square feet? Does it state anything that we gave them, that it was to remain in the footprint of the building?
I believe it did say the same footprint.
So,
But 2.5 feet's an awful lot to vary
are
in
we
width.
certain of the size? Is it 2.5 on each side?
Here, it's roughly 18 inches to
But
2
it
feet.
doesn't increase the square footage?
Yes.
It does or does
It
not?
Does.
Does.
So what is the square footage of the first floor and the room upstairs that is allowable for our variance?
Probably 920.
It's 552
Without
square
the
feet on the
stairs.
first
That's
floor.
what
It's
I
not-
thought I had asked that earlier.
Yes.
That is critical to me.
Yes.
It's
right now.
9:15 and I don't have the stairs in, because I didn't know
Another
what to
250.
do.
up to-
So if the dimensions of the building are 29 by 18,
Yeah.
that's 522 square feet, times 2 is 1,044.
That's the full second floor.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm asking what the square footage is on
So-
the first floor with the added, go ahead.
It was minus that, it was exactly 800.
800 square feet.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanna
It
know.
was $7.99 to be exact.
Fine, perfect,
There-
that's
there-
good.
So I went back and looked at the original variance. We didn't, there was no variance for exceeding 800. It was just the variance to have it and a variance to have, and a special exception to have it. That was it.
There was no square footage?
There was, no, it wasn't. It was, oops, hang on, where did it go?
I thought we talked about the height of the.
We did. I
We
remember
talked
we
about
were
the
talking
height
about
of
that.
the development
Just saw that.
in the
It's
original
on the back
meeting.
of this page, Denise.
I couldn't find it.
Oh, no, it was in the decision.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find here, the minutes of that meeting.
It's on the first page.
I am gonna take those minutes, because I wanna see exactly what we approved. Thank you.
Actually,
I'm sorry that we don't have that.
Here's the minutes.
Denise,
from-
can you grab that paper on the way by, please, that has the pass key on it? That,
He needs the login.
thank you.
Oh,
The electronic guy has no internet, this is bad. Alright.
I get it.
Oh, I was
So-
close.
Yeah, where's the?
What I need is better vision.
The original plans, including the second floor, were exactly 800 square feet. $7.99 to be exact.
That's outside.
Yep.
And what was the height?
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter,
It said 8 foot on the second floor.
but we discussed it,
Yeah.
so
And
that's why I'm
9
asking.
foot ceilings on the first floor
Yeah,
with probably a 12-inch floor frame, thickness.
right?
8, 9, 18 feet.
Yeah, okay. Where are we now?
Well, to the ridge line, I'm not sure, because we never talked about the pitch of the roof.
Yeah,
But it was
that's true.
18 to the ceiling on the second floor.
It's a good 512.
That's what we, yeah, that's
Now,
what we discussed, yes.
you ever try to buy an 18-foot stud?
Yes. Well, not stud, but
It'd have to be a 2 by
Metal.
10.
it's an engineered piece of
Metal.
wood.
But, no, seriously. You can't.
I
You
had a
don't make 'em.
26 inch,
Right.
26 foot
I use
timber.
27 footers, they're metal.
Yeah.
I have mine out.
Heavy gauge
So
metal.
what was the,
But the
What-
thing is, it's not a common
No.
Right.
material.
what was the original?
And I think that's what happened.
Okay.
Because
Decision.
I can build
He gave me
regular
the-
walls, put a floor in there,
18.
and I don't have to buy unique framing.
So
Material.
how high
Looks
is
like
the
trusses
new
on
one?
top too, right?
Yes.
The one I can see from underneath?
Yeah.
Trusses, right? Yeah.
This one has to be.
Okay, the minutes read that,
Huh?
you're correct, it doesn't
Without
say
the roof.
800, but it says that we are giving them a variance for an ADU unit in a detached building.
Right.
Um,
The plan was, what was?
The plan that was attached and at the location of that existing building.
Right.
Okay. If they're under 800 square feet, I don't have an issue with that. What I have an issue with is the remaining of the second floor and how we're gonna deal with that. And that's up to the board to talk and discuss about
Even
that.
if they don't use that, they exceed the 800 square feet, still.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But-
but if they're not utilizing it, it's not, it's
No,
like
no, no.
putting it above a garage.
Alan's point is that originally it was within 800 square feet, but because they've added that additional space, that added 2 times 29, which is 58 square feet.
Times 2.
Times 2.
Times 2. Well, it would be
One.
times 1.5, because the upstairs was roughly half the size of the second floor.
Okay.
But the point is, it now exceeds what it was originally.
Correct.
Jack,
Habitable, yes.
when they extended the size of the building,
Right,
did you stop them then?
yes. When I drove by when the zip board was still up and the builder was.
That's when you noticed that the building was larger than it was supposed to
larger than-
be.
And I believe Dale wasn't around. His builder was there and I said, stop.
Okay, then we have an issue.
Wait, and then they didn't stop, they kept going?
He stopped, because the second floor was already in, everything was in, I said, stop everything. You know,
Inspections don't occur all the time. They
Right,
don't
no, I-
happen. so-
Usually rough inspections is electrical, plumbing, and framing all at the same time.
Oh. Did mine all separate.
So he was told by the town to go ahead.
Well, no, but that, my question is, who in the town would have ever said that to anybody?
Well, that's what I mean. I thought that's what I heard him
But he came,
say.
he came to the office
Yep.
Yep,
and he spoke with I believe it was Patty and myself, but mostly Patty was talking. She said, you can come for another variance to increase your size, and I agreed. That's probably your best way to ask the,
And that was regarding the footprint.
correct, after it was completed.
Okay, so we have two variances here, I feel.
Mhm.
Well, at least two ways to look at it.
one for the increase in size, and one for the infill of space.
Correct. I think they're two different things.
I know.
And
Why,
that's
is
okay,
one
that's
worse than
why
the
there's
other?
more than one of us here. That, right? That's why we have discussions.
I'm in between the two of you.
That is dangerous.
Yeah,
I'm
no
just
kidding,
kidding.
huh?
It's a good place to be, right?
It's.
Well, if we're just looking at the thing that we're looking at right now, right?
Mhm.
I would, and I'm not making it yet, but I would make a motion to indicate that I would deny this. Because I don't see a hardship.
Deny what?
This, what the thing we're talking
request.
about.
Yeah.
If I have to make the motion, I'll read the whole thing out.
Well,
But it's two issues, right?
Well,
there's a couple.
There's just one variance though that's coming up here. That's, if we're only looking at that one
Okay.
thing, then it's kind of simple. I think we're all saying the same thing.
But the thing is, he was told to stop. That's number one. He didn't stop. Okay? Number two, he knew it was bigger than what he got approval for, from day one. Because to go from 15 and a half to 18 feet, you know it's bigger, to begin with, on day one. When they demolished it, they should have caught that, and they should have stopped right then and there. Now, you can find fault, but the real fault here is probably not the homeowner. It's probably the contractor. Because any contractor knows better.
Yeah, but,
I've been around long enough to know.
but we're not.
You
we're
don't
not
make those
finding
kind of
fault
mistakes.
either.
It's not a mistake, yeah.
What's the building
Actually.
permit? How many feet was the building permit for? Well, as far as, did it take into account the additional feet?
Did you get any real plans?
Hand drawing.
Hand drawing?
Hand drawing from the builder.
From the builder. Yeah.
I can't get to my file, otherwise I should have
I
brought it.
understand, yeah.
I would like to see what was actually submitted to get the building permit to begin with.
Yeah.
I just, to do something like that just doesn't make any sense to me
Well, we could.
at all.
Okay, Jack, I have a question.
I say table it and
We
let's,
might have to. I have another question for you, Jack. So when they went to build on top of the slab that was
Right.
there and realized that it was not structural,
Right.
was it a crawl space or a full foundation?
No, it was a full foundation, small.
Oh, it was a full foundation.
Yeah.
Come on.
okay. So
Was
there was
it
no
block?
inspections required because they
Some of it was.
cantilevered, they didn't put another footing, another foundation or anything?
No,
Oh.
no. They're engineered floor trusses. I trusses,
And they're engineered and stamped?
yes. You can't cut those.
Well, board,
I'll make a motion to table it until we get some more information on it, what was actually submitted for a permit.
I second that.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna extend this to, can we do it at the next meeting?
I don't think she did, yes, I don't think she has anything else set up for the next meeting.
Okay. So at the next meeting, which is, will they be notified? No, because we're doing
No.
this, okay. So do you have the date? Anybody have the date of the next meeting?
5/7.
By 7.
May 7th. We're gonna rehear this. We're not gonna rehear everything. We're coming here for some facts. Will we be opening up the public hearing again? Well, that's gonna be up to Len, I guess.
We continued it, so you can
Continued
open
it.
it
You
up.
can choose to.
Once you
You
close
have
it,
to
you
open it
can.
up to make a deliberation.
Yeah,
We
no,
can,
it-
I'm
Len
talking
can-
about public hearing, can we open that?
Yeah, the chair can choose to do that when they want.
Okay, okay. So that's where this case is going. Sorry that we're not making a decision, but we want to have all our information in front of us.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Regarding the permit stuff that you're going to get, is that all from the town? record?
That will be all
Yeah.
from the town.
Upstairs.
All the records of
Yes.
Correct.
everything my contractor submitted?
Yes. So until that point, the construction has
Yeah.
halted 100%. Okay, thank you.
So, do you know who the contractor was?
No,
Okay,
And thank you for getting.
what's the contractor's name?
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Rich Morgan.
Okay, I'm exhausted, I don't ever want this job. I'm making that real
Rick
clear
Morgan.
for everybody.
You ran for it.
I ran for, yeah, not
Rick
to
Morgan.
chair it.
Who?
Rick Morgan.
Never heard of it.
And now you're gonna run from it, is that what?
I'm gonna run away as fast as I can. I can't even find my agenda.
There we go. I guess,
Does anybody have an agenda I can read?
Oh, yeah,
Here.
younger than us, 61.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, God.
wow, this,
He definitely should know better.
this cleared out fast. All right.
Okay, Paul Bissonette, applicant, and Rachel Branch, and Joe Mago.
You sure you want to be here tonight?
Could I, how
Oh,
bad
it
did
should be quick. We shouldn't be here for another 4 hours.
I? Watch what you say.
Well, thank you for being patient.
Owners are seeking a variance to build a handicap ramp entryway to the front existing home that will be 15 feet from the front property line, whereas 25 feet is required per section 4.3, Table of Dimensional Regulations of the Goffstown Zoning Board. The property is located at 23 West Union Street, map 34, lot 52, zone residential 1.
Madam Chair, I may have to step down because I was trying to buy it too.
I don't think so.
But we have no objection to him staying on the board for this decision.
Okay, could you
Do you hate them 'cause
state
they
your
were-
names for the record, please?
I'm Rachel Bannock. I'm the homeowner.
Okay.
And my name is Paul Bissonette. I am Rachel's dad, and I am the one that is going to be building the ramp, assuming that everything goes, favorably for us.
So I'm the caregiver for my sister who is severely disabled. She has a rare form of severe epilepsy. When she tries to go upstairs, sometimes it causes seizures and she falls and she gets very hurt. So in order to enter her home safely, we need a ramp. And also so that her friends can come visit who are in wheelchairs to enrich her life. And
For clarity, you mentioned the one that we're asking for the variance in the front. There's also going to be a ramp that we want to build to access the back of the property as well, which will be, also very in close proximity to the home. So, we're not building a 100-foot ramp or anything. It's just so that she can.
they will be as short as possible.
But this variance is strictly for the one ramp?
Yeah, we were told we didn't need one for the
Okay,
back.
then we don't really need to know.
Yeah.
The house is fairly close to the street.
Mhm.
They all are on that.
Right.
Yes. The houses are closer to the street than we want the ramp to be to the street, so.
I thought that handicap ramps for accessibility purposes was exempt from this.
They should be.
I don't.
Portables are.
I can't have an opinion from on that because I'm on the board, but.
You're gonna build a permanent ramp?
Well, it's gonna be pressure treated, but I'm not gonna disturb the soil, I'm just gonna put it on, so the supporting posts will be on blocks.
Blocks.
So right out immediately as you egress from the home is gonna be a roughly 4x4 foot platform and an 8-foot ramp, which gives me enough slope so that it's comfortable for her, but it's within ADA.
Sure. Understand that. Okay. Anybody have questions?
Were you building a permanent ramp or did you investigate temporary ramps?
No, I mean, I think that she's gonna be there quite a while, so I want it to be nice and sturdy. We're gonna just build it out of PT, and so I guess you would call that a permanent
It
ramp.
also,
So you
we
just
would like
put
our
the-
home to look nice and those ones just.
Just put them on elephant's feet or something like that?
Exactly right,
Yeah,
yep.
okay.
Jason or Judy, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we have anybody in the
Did
public.
they turn the light off in the garage?
We just got it working. No, honestly, I've heard a lot of talk about how it affects property values. We're only actually making the property look much nicer by the time it's cleaned up, because the previous owner was actually very neglectful, so,
Okay.
Yes.
that's
So
all we
we're
got.
gonna ask for the public and then you'll be able to come back up.
Thank you.
Is there anybody out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. Name for the record, please.
Andrew Cataret, CAD. I don't know if he's taking minutes.
Well, I need my minute thing back. The agenda.
It's on the back.
Sorry.
I wasn't prepared to be secretary.
You're doing a good job.
Just get the spelling of the names.
Yeah, working on it.
Andrew, CADORETTE, Cataret, 22 West Union, across the street. I'm trying something different tonight. I'm showing up to support something. I'm trying to start something new in the town where people show up to not complain, but to support something.
You know how you could support us?
Well,
coming on the board.
Well, let me just say, you also made a couple other points. You've convinced me never to join this board. So that's one thing. And then you actually hit on the other point. New Hampshire is the third oldest state, population-wise, in the United States. We live on a street that has, all the old houses. None of them would meet this zoning requirement. And I would like to make a suggestion that you consider finding some way to make this not a variance that people have to come to. This was a long meeting. This was very long. And this just seems like...
My sister's in the car right now.
Yeah.
She's with
So I didn't
my
know
mom
that.
in the car, and she, like, this is awful.
We do have a
Oh, yeah, you don't want her in here. She will be screaming because
you
she
know
doesn't
what? It
know.
probably would have been nice at some point tonight.
So my point is that I think that, oldest state, we all probably want to age in place in our homes or have loved ones that have accessibility needs. I don't think there should be a variance if there's a way, especially on a street where not one of those houses is maybe one of them is 25 feet from the road, but these are all old houses. Even on Mast Road, you drive down it, they're all close to the road. This variance in this condition, it should be
So
rethought.
Jack's gonna make a note on this, because remember how we're gonna talk to the planning board when they do their recommendations for zoning changes? We are now gonna have a meeting prior to that, so we can give our recommendations, because we're the one, we see them come in.
Yeah, it just
And
it
it's, I mean,
causes
I don't mean
issues
to be,
here.
but it's a waste of everybody's time.
You're gonna see these more and more as we all age.
So I appreciate that recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything else to add before we close the
If
public?
you need people to support that becoming a non-variance, because there is an entire wonderful community of disabled people. I'm the local program coordinator for Special Olympics in Goffstown, and we have so many people, and it's just not, this is her own home, and she
So
can't
at
get
the
in it.
end of, when we deliberate, is that when they decide what's gonna go on the ballot?
November, December.
Well, the other way to do it is by petition.
Right, but it's a little easier to get past
Well,
if it's recommended by the planning board.
yeah.
So
It
if
is.
you need anybody to recommend, like to help with that,
I will
I'm happy
be
to
happy.
do that.
Keep
because-
keep in mind though, that like the deliberative session, that's a good time to come out and talk.
Yeah.
Okay, because we're gonna do everything we can to get that on. Okay, because it's a, thank you for the recommendation. Okay,
Close public hearing.
yes, I'm closing the
Oh, shoot. I motion originally that.
public hearing.
Do we need a motion on our request?
No, yeah, we're doing it right now.
Yeah,
We're gonna have a discussion.
Oh.
Okay, no regional impact. Who's seconding?
Second.
All in favor of no regional
Aye.
impact?
Sorry.
Motion carries. Okay. Come on, thoughts?
I'm ready to make a motion.
Hey, since I had my handicapped brother-in-law living with us for a month, actually, a year and a half. I know what you have to go through. And he finally got into assisted living. It's a challenge.
Make
If
a
you go
motion.
through life without challenges, you're very lucky.
If you don't mind.
Oh, please.
Okay, because I heard you say it. And I said, let me try this one. Hi, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for variance to build a handicap ramp entryway to the front of an existing home that'll be 15 feet from the front property line, whereas 25 is required per section 4.3 of the table of
You
dimensions.
just gotta go quickly through this.
Yep.
For this one.
It's not contrary to the public interest because it's a personal physical need for somebody. Spirit of the ordinance is definitely observed to definitely keep our residents safe in maneuvering around their homes and properties. Granting variance would do substantial justice because again, it's a definite required process to live your life in the safest possible way, which is definitely needed when it comes to ramps and so on. Surrounding property values would not be diminished because it's a ramp instead of a set of stairs. It's just a little bit further out, whether you have a landing or stairs or a ramp. Unnecessary hardship, if ordinance is enforced, would be that the unnecessary hardship is someone in a handicapped situation, wheelchair bound, would definitely be at risk for going up and down little steps or bumps in entranceways or doorways, going from, egressing outside with no smooth transition. Could be very deadly.
I'll second.
Good job.
Thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You're good.
Motion carries.
You're
Thank
good.
you so
you.
much.
Now get out.
Have a good
Go to her. Give her the good news.
Excuse me.
Oh, they've been outside. Oh, man.
You know,
Okay, we have one more thing that I'd like to discuss tonight, it's all right?
Could I discuss this?
Sure, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Can't we review our potential list of items that are on here and reorder them at times?
you can change the sequence of events, the chairman can
The chair
at will.
Yeah.
That will, okay. Would have been good to know that we were facing this with people
Yeah, the meeting lasts a
outside.
little longer than I thought, to be honest, but you never know until you get here.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, there has been, we received in the mail and also email about somebody requesting that we reappear for new information, or they didn't have all the information when they came to the board. Does no one know what I'm talking?
The chicken coop?
Correct.
Yes.
So I would like to hear your thoughts, and then I'll give you mine. Boy, I don't like being chair.
Pass the
Because when I'm
buck.
sitting over there, I can start.
So,
Not enough information to grant. a request.
Okay, go ahead.
well,
Period.
I would disagree because a medical condition was introduced in the information. And that's enough for a rehearing because it is additional information that we didn't have at that time.
To read the minutes.
I did.
John?
I was there.
I read that part and, I read it again. And what started out was, they weren't using a medical situation as a leverage tool. But, and there was nothing from the doctor per se, that this was a therapy situation. And the layers of ticks in the yard and this and that, the chickens were not taken away. The number of chickens were adjusted, and the rooster was. So I say the same thing as Alan, I don't see it.
Judy?
You don't see what? The hardship?
I don't
He doesn't
see
want to
it.
rehear it.
I don't want to hear it,
rehear
yeah,
it.
right.
I don't
Okay.
have anything at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna say something. So when I read this, I wish they had added some proof regarding therapy. So I went online. Didn't take me long, 2 seconds, to find that it's real. And the therapy with chickens and autistic children is really come a long way. Now, it is not my job to go and look for this information, but I did because I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're stating that. Personally, I would rehear them, but I expect them to have something in writing by professionals stating that the therapy, chicken therapy, I don't know what else to call it, and I don't mean to belittle it by any means, because I understand, some of that. That's my personal opinion.
So,
We're not supposed to instruct applicants on what they should do. Period.
but in
No.
my particular case, Alan, there wasn't an instruction there. Not at all. There was information introduced.
No.
And that's enough for a
No,
rehearing.
but
I'm instructed.
Denise just said,
Well, you know
But
what, that's her
we're not
opinion,
supposed to-
and I don't disagree with
to
you.
lead the applicant in what they tell us and what they submit to us.
Yes, I don't disagree with that. What I would say though, is that the information contained in there isn't the proof that they're adding, that they're introducing the information to ask for a rehearing. And I believe that's enough information to have the rehearing. Doesn't mean that we're gonna grant it.
Correct.
It just means we're gonna listen to it again. And now they're gonna have additional information that they can introduce. I have no problem with that.
No, what the law says is they have to submit it in request for a rehearing.
Yeah.
It's not here.
Oh, I get what you're saying, yeah.
They're supposed to submit the information that's what the
They
law
did.
says.
They did. They absolutely did.
No, there's nothing in here that justifies anything.
I'm sorry, I disagree with you.
Well, you can-
Wholeheartedly.
What you're saying is, there's not scientific proof,
There's no-
but this is a
there's no-
testimony.
There's no additional information, I think, that would modify in that letter, that correspondence, that would change my vote.
Hold on, hang on.
You might
because
have
you
to
know what you
listen to
just.
what the vote was.
Hang on. You're right. You just brought up something that I remembered making a note of before I lost my computer.
You got too much paperwork over there.
This is why I don't do paper. He's doing good. Of course, when you lose your computer, that doesn't help either. That's that.
You wanna use a knife?
I need the minutes from last time. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for, was the minutes from last time. I got it here, folks.
You got a copy in your packet. Yeah, I got a copy.
Oh, right, the minutes from last time, that's what I need.
Read the paper.
But this is
We've been here.
this is the minutes generated from the actual
Mm-hmm.
video. And it may not be exact.
Oh, no, it's never exact. Minutes are very brief. That's for sure.
No, all right, I'm sorry. So here's my counter to you, because I knew there was one. The variance was for the allowing of the keeping of chickens and a rooster on the property. That was the variance that we denied. And I believe that this introduced enough information to make that variance rehearable. The special exception we granted,
Yes.
it's the variance. And,
Yes, Who
and this,
voted against the motion?
doesn't matter.
Alan did.
I did.
What was the vote? Oh, yeah, pass.
Okay, so I still don't agree with you, so there.
What was the count?
I hereby make a motion to rehear this at the next meeting.
Do I have a second?
I need a question answered. I don't always think real bright and quick, but anyway, I just need to know, we didn't approve him for his variance request, is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
The request
Was for,
more than
To
10
keep-
chickens?
It was about
Wait,
keep-
hold on here.
it was about
Less than two
A
setbacks.
variance is required as the lot is under 2 acres and there are more than 10 chickens as well as 1 rooster located on the property. That was what the variance was. So in this particular case,
Yep.
she introduced information indicating the keeping of chickens and a rooster. That was not part of the original discussion. That's why I'm saying that we should be able to rehear this,
Oh, it did come up a lot though, if I remember right.
not the medical condition.
Not that, I'm sorry, not that, but the,
That's the
The
sole
amount of
piece of
chickens and
information,
roosters.
is that we didn't have the medical information on the
I vote for
rooster.
a rehearing also.
So you're gonna second?
Oh, yes, is that it? Yes, I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed?
Hey,
You're opposing?
Yep.
2 opposed, 3 in favor, motion carries to rehear.
I have one more thing to add too, sorry. Because this is the first meeting after an election, I believe we're supposed to
Thank you.
have a new chair, or have a chair election. Given the fact that Len is not here, I would recommend, I don't know if we have to make this a motion or not, but recommend to
but
do.
the chair can serve until changed.
Right.
Doesn't have to change every year.
Well,
No. Gail served how many years?
Yeah, but she was we motioned every year, we would say, we want Gail, we want Alan, we want.
We did for the years that I've been on the board.
Yeah, every year we go through
I'll make
this.
a motion that you be the chair.
I'm sorry, I don't accept that.
And we're waiting till, Len. I think
Yeah,
that's the
I
point. We
wanna
want
wait till
to, we
Len.
want to postpone that vote till we're a full board.
How's he doing anyways?
He's home, I think. Believe he's home.
What, was it an emergency?
Well,
kind of
okay,
thing?
are we all set? We'll close this public hearing? Are we
Yeah.
all set to close the public hearing?
I vote we close the
Len, we
public
miss
hearing.
you. Really wish you were here tonight. Okay, we're closing the public hearing, please. Recording can stop.